Parveen. Today we are on the last session of class 8 civics chapter 3 parliament, that is union legislature. In our last two sessions we have seen that in a democratic country or in a democratic form of government we have two different forms of government, that is presidential form of government or parliamentary form of government. Under presidential form of government, president is having a main authority or is a supreme authority. And there is a presidential elections like in America. When we talk about the parliamentary form of government, under parliamentary form of government, parliament is having a supreme authority in a democratic country and there is a parliamentary elections like India. Now when we talk about India, India adopts parliamentary form of government because it is more suitable form of government for a country like India. Because in India we are having different kinds of religion and to avoid majoritarianism, to avoid dominance of one religion or to avoid the dominance of one particular group, parliamentary form of government is very much essential. And it also eliminate the misuse of the power by the authorities. Because when we talk about the parliamentary form of government or India as a federal country, India divides its power into different in different levels. Like we have legislature, executive and judiciary. Under legislature we have parliament where we have union legislature and we have state legislature. Now when we talk about parliament, parliament comes under union legislature. And in our last session we have seen that parliament consists of two houses, that is Lok Sabha, which is lower house of the parliament, and Rajya Sabha, which is upper house of the parliament. And we have seen that what is the composition of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha and who are the presiding officers of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. I hope you have understood that two sessions and about the parliament. Now in this particular session we are going to learn about the functions of the parliament. What are the functions of the parliament, or as when we are saying that parliament is a supreme authority, what are the functions of the parliament, how parliament helps country to run smoothly or to function smoothly in a democratic content or in a democratic scenario. So first of all we will see that when we talk about the parliament, we have seen that Lok Sabha is having speaker and deputy speaker who are the presiding officers or who are the presiding members of the parliament. They preside over the meeting. Speaker in Lok Sabha presides over the meeting. And then we have seen that in Rajya Sabha, Vice President of India automatically becomes the chairman of Rajya Sabha or presiding officer of the Rajya Sabha. Then Prime Minister is the head of the parliament as majority party or ruling party who when there is an elections and when elections has been held, the party who gets majority vote, that particular party becomes a ruling party and leader of that particular party becomes the Prime Minister. And Prime Minister is the head of the state or Prime Minister is the head of the parliament. Now over here when we talk about the parliament, Prime Minister, we also have a president in parliament, and president is the nominated head of the parliament or nominal head of the parliament, you can say. Because as prime minister is elected by the people through general elections, indirectly you can say, because when we vote for the party and the party who gets majority vote, that means we are electing that party to make a government, and the leader of that particular party becomes the prime minister. That means prime minister is indirectly elected by the people. But when we talk about president, there was no presidential elections in India because we are having a parliamentary form of government. So president is a nominal head. That means president is nominated by all the members in the parliament including prime minister. So that is why we say that president is the nominated head of the parliament, and without the consent or signature of the president, no laws can be passed in parliament. See, parliament makes certain laws and policies for the country, and these laws and policies cannot be passed or cannot be implemented without the consent of the president or without the signature of the president. That is why president is very important in parliament. Without the consent of the president, without the signature of the president, no laws can be passed. So this is all about the president. Now we will see the functions of the parliament. Over here we can see that there are six functions of the parliament. We will see one by one in detail. First one, Parliament selects the executives. As I have told you, We are following a federalism or federal system. According to federalism, India divides power between three organs of the government, that is legislature, executive and judiciary. Now when we talk about legislature, parliament is a form of legislature who make laws, policies and programs for the country. Now these laws can be implemented by executives. Now these executives are appointed by the parliament. These executives are selected by the members of the parliament, or you can say prime minister. So parliament is having a function to select the executives to implement the law which is made by parliament, which is made by the members of the parliament, which is made in the Lok Sabha, or either in Lok Sabha or either in Rajya Sabha. So the very first functions of the parliament, the very first function of the parliament is to select the executives. Now when we talk about executives, executives are a group of persons who implement the laws made by the parliament. As we know that parliament made laws for our country, and that laws can be implemented by the executives, and that group of persons who implement the laws made by the parliament are called as executives. Now as we all know that we are having general elections after every 5 years. When elections have been conducted, majority party makes government. Who are majority party? Majority party means the party who gets maximum votes in election. That particular party is called as majority party because that party gets the majority of votes from the public or from the people. That majority party makes the government and becomes a ruling party. And that ruling party, the leader of that ruling party becomes the prime minister or head of the parliament, because members in the parliament comes from that general elections only. So the party who gets majority of votes, that means member of that particular party is more in parliament. Like let's take an example in Lok Sabha, when we say that there are 252 members in Lok Sabha. Now in that 252 members, majority of the members, like you can take an example like 250 out of more than 200 members, or you can say more than 150 members are from the majority party. So in parliament, members of the majority party are more. That is why they make the government. And the leader of that majority party becomes the prime minister, who becomes the head of the parliament. Now prime minister, what prime minister do? Prime minister from his own party, his or her own party, they select some MPs, member of the parliament. They are the member of the parliament. They select some MPs to make a cabinet ministry. What is cabinet ministry? Actually, cabinet ministry is a group of ministers who has different departments. Prime minister select MPs from his own party, and he gives different departments to these MPs, these ministers, like education department, health department, defense department, sports department, transport department, travel and tourism department. Like that, each minister has its own department, and they need to function, they need to take decisions on their department, and whatever laws has been made in the parliament regarding their department, it is a duty of the cabinet ministers to implement that law of the parliament into their department. So actually cabinet ministers are the kind of executives in the parliament. Whatever law has been made in the parliament can be executed or implemented by cabinet ministers. And these cabinet ministers are selected by prime minister within his own party, because prime minister belongs to the majority party or ruling party. Now these cabinet ministers are there to implement the laws. Now in a parliament we have two different parties. One is majority party, who is a ruling party, who get majority of votes in election, and another one is a party who gets minimum votes, but their members are also there in parliament because some seats are there with them also. So they are called as opposition party because they always oppose the ruling party. Okay, and if in any case, if majority is not been made, that means if any one party is not getting a majority vote on that time, that party can, or that party or any party can take the help of other party temporarily to make a majority. Like like we can take an example in Maharashtra, BJP and Shiv Sena come together to make a government, to make a state government, which is called as coalition government or alliance. Okay, that temporary alliance of two parties to make majority to become a ruling party is called as coalition government or alliance. Okay, now second function of the parliament. First function, I hope you've understood the first function. Second function is control and guide the government. Parliament exercises controls over the ministers and their work. Parliament is responsible to give work to the ministers and to assign works to the minister and to see whether they are working properly or not. Parliament can check on the functioning of the various departments also, like Prime Minister when he gives various departments to Cabinet Minister. Prime Minister or members of the Parliament can check that whether these ministers are working properly or not. And Prime Minister and Cabinet Ministers are totally responsible for the Parliament, because whatever laws Parliament made, that laws can be implemented by Prime Minister and Cabinet Ministers. So the implementation of law is totally upon the Prime Ministers and Cabinet Ministers, and they are totally responsible for the decisions of the Parliament. Next one is control over government finance. Parliament also control over finance of the country or government finance. Parliament controls income and expenditure of the government. Whatever income government receives, and from that income whatever expenditure was there, all the decisions will be taken by the Parliament only. Receives, and over here when we talk about the income, government receives its income from various taxes and spend the money on welfare schemes of the country. And every year budget is being prepared in the Parliament to decide that what income government is receiving and where government needs to spend that income in which welfare scheme. It is decided by the Parliament. Without consent of the Parliament, no tax can be imposed and no money can be spent. So totally you can say that Parliament is having a full control over the finance of the country. Next one, providing information to the people in the government. It is a duty of the Parliament to provide any kind of legal or political information, like about the laws, about the policies and programs which they are making. It is a duty of Parliament to inform about these laws and policies to the people and to the government also, like to the state government. Remove high officials. Parliament is having an authority to remove the higher officials, which is called as impeachment. Like impeachment of Prime Minister, impeachment of President. If in any case it feels that President or Prime Minister or any Cabinet Ministers, if they have done anything wrong, so their case can be discussed in the Parliament and votings will be there, and if the President, if the Prime Minister feels guilty, then there is an impeachment of the President or impeachment of the Prime Minister. That means before completing the 5 years, President or Prime Minister can remove from his seat. Okay. Next one, amend the Constitution. Parliament is having a right to amend the Constitution. That means if any change needs to be made in the Constitution, bill has to be proposed or bill must be proposed in the Parliament, and if 1/3 of the members of the Parliament is ready, then only the Constitution can be amended or changed, which is called as amendment. And last one is, Parliament is having an authority to make any kind of law, any law-making procedure. Parliament is having one law-making procedure. Any bill can be passed in Parliament afterwards, which becomes a law. Either it can be a normal bill or either it can be a money bill. Any bill, any law can be passed in Parliament only. So these are the 6 functions of the Parliament. I hope you have understood all these 6 functions, and I hope you have understood the chapter which I have taught you. If any doubt is there, we can clear that in the Zoom class. Till then, thank you.